All right. Welcome, everybody. You are tuned in to Sip and Talk. I'd like to welcome all my co-hosts this evening. I would like to welcome Tanza, Miss Data, and our newest co-host, Brian,
Hey
joining
everybody.
us this evening.
Hello again.
Our topic that we are touching on this evening is cyberbullying. I know that Data wanted to speak on some things that she's endured. You guys were raising some pretty good points in your conversation here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Data, what you got?
Who was on?
Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, well, I am a social media person and I love to be on social media. I love to be on social media. And since I've been in the audio world, it's very, very new to me. So when I started off with Clubhouse. The whole while of being there and being on certain social medias, especially the audio world, I've encountered a lot of disrespect. I've encountered a lot of rudeness. I've encountered a lot of having to choose who I should be friends with or who I should socialize with or who I have to be friends with. If I don't choose the right people to be friends with, I get put down. I'm treated unfairly. I'm told I'm not solid. I'm told I'm fake. People that don't even know me hear these bad things about me, and I find it very disturbing. You know, especially from the people that I call friends in the audio world. You know, people like to say that there's no friends in the audio world, but I try to look at the outside. I think outside the box. So I don't think as everybody as an enemy or not a friend. I try to consider everyone a friend because I'm a person filled with love. But I think certain people or certain individuals or certain people that's out there in the world probably would take that for granted and run over it. And I've been encountered a lot of that. I have to defend myself at times because I don't want people to make my name look bad.
I get it. But even in the audio world, it's just like in the outside world, you have to get to know people first, before you consider them a friend and before you put your trust in them. You feel me? So, and then it's like with the audio world, people is on here trying to gain clout. So they gonna knock whoever, you know what I'm saying? And so that's what it's about on here. People hiding behind a keyboard, stunting and fronting, trying to make people believe they something that they not, you know, that it's just like the real world. The only difference is we're behind a keyboard. That's all. That's just what it is. You're on mute.
It's kind of hard for me because I am a quiet person, especially in the audio world. I'm very quiet. I do talk a lot, but I talk when something resonates with me or something of the topic interests me. But when it comes to like drama, I'm very much so quiet, and nobody will know I have any drama or any problem with anyone unless I come out and say it. And I really don't do that, you know. And it be times where I just be like, I'm like, well, what should I do at this very moment? Especially if I don't know if I don't know that you beefing with me or you have a problem with me, it's really disturbing because how are you spreading these rumors and spreading these lies and I don't even know that you have a problem with me. I don't know what problem you have with me. And that goes on in real life. People fantasize and fabricate these lies and fabricate these stories of people that they don't even know. And
Right.
it's very uncomfortable. It becomes uncomfortable and it becomes bothering a certain time in life where it's like, dang, should I even be here? And if I got to go through this to get to know someone, or if I got to go through this to befriend somebody or get to know them before being my friend, if I have to go through this just to even attempt to be a friend to somebody, I don't want to go through it. And that makes me want to shut down sometimes because I be very disturbed on how a person that don't even know me can go make up so many lies and make up stories to make other people look at me totally different.
Well, I look at people though when see if a person comes to me about a person, I want to get to know a person for myself. I don't want to go off of what somebody else says. So it's like, are you dealing with adults? Are you dealing with, immature people? Because it shouldn't be that easy for somebody to come to somebody and tell them something about somebody else. If they've never met that person, I feel like they should go off of meeting you on their own.
Yeah, I think that the whole social media thing, whether it's, you know, visual, so if we're talking Facebook or Instagram or TikTok or something like that, or audio, right? Like Clubhouse and other apps. Either way, it's basically the same thing. It's people that the only difference is that they're hiding behind, like you said, keyboards and things like that. So they can't see you, you can't see them, right? And so you have an opportunity people are a lot more vocal and a lot more bold when people can't actually see them,
Yeah.
and you can't actually confront them. Because, what's a phone call? You can either take it or not take it, if it's audio. What do you know? Most of us are like 600 miles away from each other.
Yeah.
Never gonna see you. Never. So it's easy to be a bully in that sense. But I think ultimately, I see the same dynamic in social media that I see in real life. And a lot of times, Data, I find that the bullying, a lot of that kind of thing really still does happen more toward women than a lot of the guys. And I don't know, Brian, maybe you can tell me something different, but I don't see that a lot with the guys too much.
I mean, it's just a system, and that's the thing, that all of us are followers to something, whether it's good or bad. And once you understand the trap that's being set and where everything come from, then you'll start understanding the whole, like, I'm a big Bible believer.
Okay.
And so anytime I'm looking at this thing, the Bible teaches us that there's nothing new under the sun. So it's the same thing, but it's just increasing in different ways. Say, for instance, let's take the pandemic for instance. Pretty much you've seen chaos happen from one place to another place, other countries. It was the same thing no matter where you went. And so the thing is missing, if you go back to like the 60s, you talk with older people, is love. As I kind of touched a little bit, love is what's taken out. And so it's a training system to say, if you ain't got this, you ain't got this, you ain't this, you ain't this. And reality, as like I say, I'm a big Bible believer, that we all fall short of the glory of God. Right. And so when we look at how it's portrayed that most people that's doing what they're doing, it's not even real. And so, and we have to get to that point where we can be honest, we can be authentic, we can be 100% real. Yeah. It's just a whole bunch of lies if you really look at it. And it's the world system make people feel like, I gotta be this, I gotta be that. So they'll do anything to get clout instead of stepping out of that box and say, hey, listen, I'm gonna show you how to do it. Matter of fact, I'm gonna tell you this, you're gonna get more shine by doing it, by not following the crowd. You know what I'm saying? Because I was at that point, like I say, I was in the entertainment business. I seen a lot of stuff I ain't like. You know what I'm saying? But I was my own owner, doing commercials in Hollywood, businesses, everything. People that follow me, they know 3 pages, 5,000 a piece. So my following was pretty huge, you know what I'm saying? But the minute I didn't like the way things was going, I shut it down. And so I've always been that person to run my company and to run it the way I wanted to run. And to protect the people and make sure they come home back to their families, et cetera, et cetera. So I always tell people, stand for some or fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? And so don't follow the crowd, because like, until you walk a mile in that person's shoes, you're not going to understand. And the average person that do that, they don't even have they don't even have a clear mind of what they're doing to that person. they're just following something. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And so sometimes I think this problem comes in because we ain't being as real as we could be. As we afraid that people gonna say something and stand up. I done had some people come to my page. They like, man, you real as a get. People don't talk like this on social media, but you know, it's that's what we got to do. If we struggling, we in this situation, we shouldn't be afraid to say we in this situation. I believe the man upstairs will bless us by us being more real, than us being going on there being fake and just trying to follow the crowd because everybody else is watching one person and won't do everything that this person doing. So if everybody pushing hate and jealousy and all of this other stuff out here, that's what you're gonna get back. And so it even go to us as leaders, us that's in position. If we in position and we making music or whatever we doing, we got to be putting out a positive message. And so you talking about slap your girl, beat her up, be this, a this, you know what I'm saying? What, and then this, it's nothing but like I tell people, we got to wake up. We have to be sober minded. And so we got to understand that the traps that's being set in front of us and not fall against it, because no matter what culture you look at it, it's always one culture killing the other. And it always starts from some small little thing. The thing that bothers me the most though about this, and I tell people this all the day, folks will have a million good days with a person. One bad thing, they'll flip out. One bad episode. You see what I'm saying? And so, and I was talking with my pops earlier today. I said, you know what? As much as I know reading this book, this Bible, and it's kind of crazy when you think about it, but the Bible never tell you to trust nobody. It always tell you to trust God. And that's a significant reason right there. And so we got to learn how to deal with people. You know what I'm saying? That's partial of the thing. And we gotta understand what strong and weak is, right? Because there's a biblical way, and then there's a world way. The world say, oh, if I go pick up a gun, man, I shoot dude, kill dude, slap dude, all this other foolishness that we see in the world, they call that as strong. Right. Now, what being strong really is biblically, when we watch what Jesus went through for everybody, in my eyes, and that is what you consider to be strong. So we got to be able to take the abuse. We got to be strong, and we got to be. And the reason why we go through these things is to help somebody else. You see what I'm saying? Pick them up and say, "Hey, listen, man, I've been through that too. You know, I went through humiliation too, thousands, if not crazy. You know what I'm saying? Went through the same process. Folks was waiting just for anything. But you know what I'm saying? Always take what don't kill you, make you stronger. You just have to always understand and remember that. And remember that there ain't nobody perfect, no matter how they try to portray themselves. They not perfect. You know what I'm saying? So for me, I keep it authentic. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna keep it real as possible with everybody. But that's the point. That's kind of what, you know, my vision of seeing. I seen the industry, they waiting on, you know what I'm saying? They waiting for opportunity. People in the industry. It's like the higher you go up these charts, the worse it get. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, Barack Obama said this before. He said, most of them used to be us, right? He talking about just regular people like us. Most of them used to be us versus them. So now they against them now. And so that's how the system is set up. That's how the system is set up. It's a worldly system that's designed to make everybody hate each other and kill each other. That's just what it is. And unless we snap up out of it and say, listen, okay, we all family. We know that everything started from one person. So we all family. So we got to find better ways to deal with things. And we got to get stronger as individuals and be able to take things and handle it the right way. That's my advice on it.
I don't know, Miss Londa, I was thinking that as you were talking, Brian, you know, and listening to Data's story, I just feel as though the bullying, a lot of it is seated in jealousy and and things like that. And to Brian's point, really, if people were more authentic, there would be less jealousy, because nobody's perfect, you know, and so when you see people on social media, or if you go into whatever platform that you're in and you see these people and you think to yourself, oh, they're here, you know, they've got 10,000 followers or whatever, then they must be somebody. When in all honesty, they're no different than you or I. They're just regular people. When the camera goes off, you know, I got to go cook.
Right.
I gotta wash the dishes. Okay. And then I gotta go in there and figure out what wig I'm gonna wear tomorrow. And you know, we're just people. We're just people. And we're people watching other people.
Right. And let's not leave out low self-esteem, because I feel a lot of times when people bully people, they have a low self-esteem. They're unhappy with something within themselves.
Yes.
And it makes them feel bigger or better to bully somebody else.
Because why would I have a problem with you if I'm not looking at you and thinking that you've got something that I want?
Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes.
And a lot of people just can't admit that. They just simply can't admit it. And a lot of times if you did admit it, the person would say, if I said, Data, you know, listen, I've been talking about you because I want them green locks, because I do. I really do. So, you know, and if I just said that, Data would probably say to me, hey, you can get it for $25 up the street. And you know what I'm saying? And that would just disperse everything. But instead of doing that, instead of being honest with ourselves and with each other, we go nitpicking at each other until we break one down and seem like we're, you know, the next level up above them.
Yeah. And it sucks.
Crazy.
It sucks. I was telling somebody that today. I say you will see the beef go on a lot between guys. You know what I'm saying? I say it's very seldom I see a guy beefing with another guy. I say, but it's a lot more of us women really beefing with each other. And I bet you half of us don't even know the beef that we got with somebody. And it sucks. Like me, I'm like this. I will go off really quick. I will go off fast. I will go off in a second, in a heartbeat. I will go off because I have no chill. I feel that if it's my respect, if anything that I have, and when you offend my respect and you offend my womanhood, that's when I have to take a step in, and that's when I have to set the record straight. Hold on, miss. This is not what you want. This is not where you need to be stepping. Don't merge into my lane if I'm not merging in yours, and most definitely don't come for me if I'm not sending for you. You know, I'm very big on that, and you know, people have a hard time at understanding that. They really do.
It's another thing that people fail to realize too. When they're watching somebody else on social media, they have to realize they only see what they're posting. That might not,
Yes,
you know, I
ma'am.
mean, I could easily get dressed up right now and go take a picture in front of one of my cousins' nice cars and stunt like it's mine, but in reality, it might not even be mine. You know what I'm saying? So people want to follow or be like this person. And in reality, you don't even really know if this person is really real.
Right.
You know, everything that they're posting might not even be what it is.
And this is the other part I want to hear about this entertainment business, because folks don't really we got to open up our eyes, because when you're even looking at, like, everybody glope around these entertainment people, right? And like we saying, these folks just like us, man. I'm talking about, everybody know me. I work with Boosie. I work with free bands. I work with tons of artists, you know, Ray J and them. You know, I've done plenty of stuff in my city. And so I did celebrity events, everything. And so folks know that these folks just like us, like we saying, right? And then when you're looking at the industry people, these folks half of these people ain't even happy, y'all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I can believe that. I can totally believe that.
Man, they ain't even happy. Listen, I'm going to tell you, money don't make you happy. You hear me? And I'm just keeping it 100. I had it all. When I mean all, Hollywood directors, I did a documentary with Family Guy. I had it all. I gave everything up. You know what I'm saying? Because I just didn't like it. Like, I started not to like what I was seeing. And I know the farther I got, the worse it was going to get. It's like everybody after you. So to even profit all of these things, people don't even understand, like, these folks ain't even happy. You know what I'm saying? The danger that comes with this. Like, once you get to one level, everybody want what you got now. They willing to kill you, set you up. Like, this thing is another ball game. And so the way I look at this thing, what I learned from the whole industry is it's important, y'all, to love one another and to really appreciate the small things, like your friendships, your brother, your family, just walking to the store, being able to buy a bag of chips. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like that stuff work. Like folks in the industry give all this up, y'all, to have our life again. And we sitting here want theirs, and they don't understand that like most of that stuff come with sorrows. You know what I'm saying? Like you want to be
sacrifices.
Blessed. Yes,
a lot of
I'm telling you, like I could put y'all on so much game, but you know, we're gonna say some of that probably another topic. But you know what I'm saying? But one day, if it's one of these topics that we hit on, I'll break down this industry and break down this game for y'all and the danger and the things that I learned from being out there. You know what I'm saying? Because I didn't stayed in Beverly Hills, whole 9 yards. So I know how the whole world system, how it all operates. But I'm telling people, enjoy the small things. You know what I'm saying? The small things. Your family.
Being able to walk out the door and go up to the street to the store and not have to cover your face. And
not have to cover your face.
Man, cherish it.
Yeah. And not have to feel like you have to go get plastic surgery, at 50 to look like.
That's how you can tell when a person is really unhappy. That's how you can tell when they're really unhappy. When you have to alter who you are, when you have to alter your personality, when you have to alter your beauty features, your body, when you have to alter any of that, you're not happy with yourself. And it's like, who are you really trying to impress? Because you're not trying to impress me. Because I like you just the same as who you was. When you start doing that, I call that, you're starting to move weird. What's the purpose of moving weird when, you have people that accept you for you, people that love you for you, people that support you for you, and nothing other than, without wanting nothing in return, all this for simple loyalty and simple honesty. And,
can't hear you.
You hear? Yeah, David, you're going.
Can you hear me?
Now.
Most people can't even fathom to give you that because they don't know what that really means.
Yeah, I think too that, as we talk about that, the idea, when we go back to the idea that it's all based on jealousy and it's all based on competition, right? Because everybody's trying to push you down in order to get to your level, in order to push the next guy down to get up and make it to the top, right? Whatever the top is. And as soon as you get there, you realize, I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'm not at the top, but I'm pretty sure as soon as you get there, you're like, well, what the hell is this? But
I call it that crab in the bucket mentality.
Right. You get there and you're like, they could have cooked me anyway.
Hey, listen, I was watching this homeless dude once, right? I put this video up once and he said, he was talking about the journey, right? And how how the younger crowd, how they want to make it so bad that they willing to do anything, right? And he said most of them, they sitting in the same car and they texting each other and he right there. He was like, when you get there, you feel worse than you did before you even started. Right. And so he says, the main thing that you learn is the journey is what you appreciate. It's not the destination.
And isn't that how life is in general? Anything that you achieve, you think about from just graduating high school or graduating through college, it's all about the journey. Because once you get the piece of paper, it's like, well, now what?
Right.
On to the next thing, right? On to the next thing. And so I just find it ridiculous that we even have to have these kinds of conversations, that people even have to still at this stage in life talk about the fact that we're all the same. Can we just chill out and just stop picking on each other and stop pulling each other apart? Nobody's perfect. I was just telling my daughter, who's 23, okay? My daughter's 23 years old. So you can imagine at 23, what you were like at 23. You're damn perfect, damn near perfect, right? So when you go at my age and we're walking out the door together, it's ridiculous in my mind to think that I would even come close to being able to compete with my daughter's aesthetics, right? But when we're dealing with social media, you find people and celebrities at 50, 60, 70 years old trying to compete with the 18-year-old and look the same and act the same, and like our voices don't change after a while. So you have battles with, vocals, and it's like we each have our time and our season in life. And once that's gone, it was the journey about it, right? And the next thing is to pass on what you've learned to the next person and to go on to where your journey fits in your life now and today. But people can't appreciate that. And
No, not at all.
they really can't. It seems ridiculous to me, but they really can't. And again, that comes with the pressure of, dealing with this kind of business and, trying to get to the top, whatever that top is, and feeling like you've never arrived, even when you get there. And so it's just sad. It's just sad. I can't imagine.
Yeah. Well, go ahead.
It makes you kind of even think about when you look at even a woman when if they get into the stripping game, and they gotta pop pills, they gotta drink, they gotta be out their mind. You know what I'm saying? Hey
just
man,
to cope with
way in this industry. It ain't a game.
And that's what goes back to the plastic surgery. Like I'm gonna go get plastic surgery to get rid of, so that I can look like Beyonce.
That's what life in general, not with the industry. The old did it, the young is doing it. It's like they have to impress or give whatever they want to give to whoever they trying to give it to, just to have something. It's like the new norm. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that was taught. It's something that was seen. And they was like, well, hey, let me do this. If I do this, maybe I'll look better and I'll get more of this, and I'll get more popularity for being this way, and I'll get more popularity for being that way. It's the new norm now. Some people don't know how to just work on the fat, lose it, exercise, eat healthy, instead of going to buy it. Most people don't know how to be authentic. Most people don't know how to just be themselves and just accept the fact that they are who they are. Me, I love me for me. I love me for who I am. I will not change for nothing less than. And I feel that people respect me because I'm me and I don't change regardless of what it is or where I'm at or what I'm doing. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. A lot of people don't know how to adapt to a situation or a certain crowd of people and continue to be themselves. Some people like to adapt to a certain crowd of people and pretend to be something that they're not, to make themselves look good or to build whatever brand they're trying to build, instead of just being themselves and being authentic. So if we can spread a lot of authenticity around, I think everybody will be a lot better with just being authentic.
Yeah.
100. Hey, you know how many people finna go down for that fraud stuff that's going on right now? Y'all pretty much, man, we're gonna keep this real today, man. And so and it's just like folks just want it too bad. They don't, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's just crazy because the world it's just getting to a place where we're watching it unfold, getting worse and worse and worse. And as you kind of touched on, like, it's sad to see the older people supposed to be setting an example.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They worse than the young folks. Or
how
just
much worse
they got more drama than the young folks.
Yeah. And Miss Londa, how much worse is it going to be when those kids
10 times worse
get to where, we are in life? And they're going to be, if you haven't learned to love and accept yourself in every space and time that you arrive in, that's just misery. If you're constantly trying to go back or spring forward to something else, you're constantly in misery. And if we're teaching these kids now that you can't be happy when you get to 50 and I feel like I look damn good, and you get there and you've got some, extra, if you can't be comfortable with your fupa and whatever else you got going on at this age, how are you going to how will I expect my daughter to feel comfortable when she gets to this spot?
Exactly.
And to love herself, because she's going to get here too. So the idea is that we're teaching one another, the younger generations, like my mother taught me, because I remember my mother at 40 and I remember my mother at 50, and I thought she was fabulous then. So when I arrive and I feel like I resemble my mother, I feel like I'm fabulous, right? That's how we should all be feeling about ourselves in whatever stage we get to. And if we learn to love ourselves like that, then there's no room for jealousy. And if there's no room for jealousy and hate, then there's no room for bullying. You don't have time for it. You got other things to do.
Well, you know, they pick on people who are confident, like Lizzo. You know, look at what she's going through because she's confident in herself.
Yes.
Who are they to say that because she's healthy that she shouldn't wear this or she shouldn't wear that? That's not even their business. I mean, if she feels comfortable, let her be.
I wish somebody would come and tell me I can't wear something.
Yeah, her energy.
You know what?
Yeah.
But the biggest thing that I look at the most is somebody was to ask me why we shouldn't. And most of folks that's doing this crazy stuff, they got kids. You hear me? You know what I'm saying? They got responsibility. They got people depending on them to be here, you know, in reality. You know what I'm saying? And then this the messed up part. By the time they get to where they're trying to get, then they look back like, man, now they watching their daughter growing up, doing all the same stuff you done did. Now you having the regrets, and ain't nothing you can do to turn back the hand of time now. And so I tell people, man, we got to think. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes, and then this is the thing. This is why I'm so much of a big Bible believer. As I kind of talk a little bit about it, but people need to understand that, like, it's biblical prophecies that tells us how great we are. You know what I'm saying? So the Bible, God said He made us a little less than the angels. So we were made we made in His image. Nobody is made in God's image but us. So to walk around and feel like you need to bully somebody, need to do this, you need to do this. No, go look in the mirror. God made you great. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, there's other biblical prophecies that tells us about this generation. And it tells us that's not always bad. And it says that we're a peculiar people, that we're a chosen generation. And so when you look around, you can see that though. You look at the technology, look at the stuff, all the stuff in the average things. You know what I'm saying? Even when you're just looking at the Black culture, we pretty much dominating almost on everything. And so a lot of this stuff, like I say, we need to look at the good. And most of the time, like, even if we just take Noah's Ark, when everybody else was acting crazy in the story, right? And then you got Noah out here trying to do right, trying to help people to do right. Whole time, Noah's life is what condemned them, right? And the Bible said that he was hearers of the righteousness. So when you look at that, that tells you, let your light shine. No matter who doing bad, because you got to be the difference maker in the situation. No matter who out here doing what, no matter what type of persecution or what they say about you, you be strong, you stand up, and you make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, we know karma come back on folks. You know what I'm saying? And so, however, the Bible tells us whatever length you use, the same gonna be used against you. And so that's kind of how I look at it. So we need to just step up and do what we need to do, be leaders for our children, the youth.
Yes.
You know, back in the other days, you know what I'm saying? If you seen a little kid doing something wrong, man, you probably whoop that kid yourself and take him home.
And then take him over to his mama.
Yeah, and they can turn him up.
You can't do that today because no, you can't touch my baby. Don't you put your hand in you?
Parents is
but you know
that now.
What Brian was saying too, Miss Londa, that takes me over back to what you were saying about Lizzo, is that even when you use that example of Noah, you have a whole world of people pretty much doing the same thing, right? You see somebody doing something, excuse me, and you start doing it, and the whole world is just buzzing around him. And he was doing his own thing. And you said that earlier, that real success comes with authenticity, right? With just being you, with just going out there, not worrying about what other people are doing, not following the TikTok trends, not doing all that other stuff, just doing you. And so when Lizzo comes out, and she's a big girl, and she's not suddenly, within a year dropping 300 pounds, right? and starting to look like everybody else that we see in
Yeah.
Hollywood. She's just doing herself, being herself, whatever that is now, because I'm a big proponent in the fact that we change over time. So right now it might be, you know, I'm comfortable with showing my butt or whatever. She's a young girl. Young people do that, right? Maybe in another 5-10 years, she'll be more conservative, whatever. That's her business. That's her life's journey, right? But she is doing her and not really
all the
worrying
way.
about what everybody else or what society is saying, or at least that's what
Yeah.
it appears from the outside looking in.
Right.
And so that's
Yeah.
that's a celebration. And so with that comes a whole new following of people that, you know, other artists and other, you know, celebrities had not tapped into,
Mm-hmm.
because they didn't look like them or us, and she does, and she's comfortable, and so I would expect that she would get a lot of backlash for that, because
The fact
pulling from the
that she,
pockets of, you know, whoever's making the new Beyonce, or, you know, I don't know, Miley Cyrus or whatever it is that they make in the cookie cutters back in their kitchens. So, you know.
I'm going to jump in and read a few comments here. So the first one is from Bina. Nope. She says, people are living in misery, faking and shaking. I have another comment from Stacy. She says, I agree with you, Tanzi, in regards to what jealousy is. It's pure hate. It can even lead to murder, all because of someone's jealousy. And sometimes it's not about material things. It could just be because someone don't like the way you look. And then I have another one from Bina that says, unfortunately, I experienced the incompetent behavior all too often. Work on yourself. Don't be sizing up my legs, butt, hair, etc. ridiculous. Yes, these elders are a darn shame before God. Awful. And then she says that she disagrees with what I said about Lizzie being happy. 1 minute being fat, then the next minute she's not on a diet. She's wishy-washy. And then Gina says, no matter what, let your shine. Say it, brother. That was for you, Brian. And then one last comment. Sorry, she is inappropriate showing that, but to kids, I wouldn't like it for mine. Well, I mean, that's when you have to monitor, you know, it's on the parents to monitor what you allow your kids to watch. Then she said she was on Snapchat imitating, giving fellatio in front of kids. She has a responsibility for young people. I don't know. I didn't know about that.
So I'm gonna say this. Everybody does a lot of things, and if you're gonna single out what she does, you might as well single out what Cardi B does.
Yes.
You might as well single out what anybody else does. You might as well single out what Lil Nas X does, and so forth. You cannot discriminate against that woman because she's just being herself, and she's being much so different.
Don't go to shouting, Miss Londa.
She's very different, and it bothers me that people harass her so much and don't let her enjoy her life being herself. I'm wishy-washy because 1 minute I'm on a diet, the next minute I ain't. 1 minute I want to diet, then the next minute I don't. 1 minute I want to drink IOSO detox tea, then the next minute I don't. It's life. You act like it's easy trying to diet and be not a big girl. It's very much so hard. We suffer too. And I'm not even that big, but I feel where she comes from. I suffer too from those type of mentalities of eating and not wanting to eat, or being healthy and not wanting to be healthy. It's not easy. It's not.
I suffer from putting down cherry Pepsi.
Well, we have the mentality where we don't want to go get surgery and be on the table getting emergency surgery, trying to be fine, fit, and healthy. We want to work it out and try to get some health benefits at the same time, but it's not easy.
Hey, let me say this. Hey, let me say this though.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna tell y'all this: how much that like this one thing the Bible says, man. When God is talking to a prophet, he told them not to look at the outer appearance, right? He said God judges you by the heart. And so this is where we got to get to. You know what I'm saying? Because that same person that's saying that, they got some stuff they doing wrong. we gotta stop looking at each other like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong. I'm not even trying to be hard on anybody that even do it, because I understand that we all have struggles, right? Yeah. And my struggle may be different than her struggle, than his struggle. But what I'm saying is, if we get to the point to where we start changing for the better, right? Because we're gonna change no matter what in some way. And some things, as things come, things change, and it always evolve. But we have to figure out, which side do we want to be on? Do we want to, because if I fit in, guess what? I can fit in with the crowd, boom, 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 boom. But I'm gonna be honest with y'all. How I blew up from Milwaukee to Hollywood and all that is because I rewrote the books and made my own system, right? So I was hiring ring girls for a company that does, they was doing like the boxing league. I was over there. They allowed me to put the whole entertainment business inside of a boxing league that was traveling worldwide.
Okay.
And so I created my own system. You know what I'm saying? And so most of the time, we got to stop looking at the next person and figure out what I'm going to do. You know what I'm saying? What I'm going to do today, what I'm going to do today, how I'm going to get my business, how I'm going to be successful. You know what I'm saying? If we put so much focus and concentration in the next man's, and we ain't even getting nothing out of it.
And Miss Wanda, let me just say this, and I know I'm always talking so much, but I just want to make sure that I make
That's what we're here for.
I just want to make sure I make this point to your watchers and to your listeners. So there were two really important things that in the comments that you read that struck me personally. First of all, the idea that she is showing her butt and you wouldn't want your kids. I wouldn't want my kids watching it either. Not only would I not want my kids watching it, I wouldn't watch it. But I'm not her audience. So that's not my business. She's an adult and she's a young woman. This is what she feels right now. And it is absolutely okay for her to do that if she wants to. She may not do it tomorrow. The other, and so that's for her audience. So it's okay if you're not a fan. It's okay if you don't agree with what she does. That's why you have the ability to switch the channel. Right? That's what we've all been given the right to do. So that's fine. You don't need to be upset about that. Lizzo's not for you. Move on to the next person.
Yeah. Also, I want to throw in there.
Yes.
About the kids.
Right. Monitor your children.
Stop just giving them a tablet and just letting them be.
Right. That's not Lizzo's job to raise your kid. It's your job.
So it's on you what you allow your kids to see.
Yeah. And the other thing was about the fact that she's wishy-washy. Now, I have a podcast as well. And one of my taglines, and I think I've said it here with you guys before, is every day is different. There is no more or better indication of authenticity than the fact that today, this is what I'm into. Tomorrow, I might have a completely different opinion. My experiences, my life, whatever's going on today might make me feel different about the exact same thing tomorrow than I did yesterday. That's authenticity. It is okay because like Data already said, we all have been on a diet or two, once or twice in our life, right? And so we'll be on it and doing good in January when everybody's got a discount at the gym. And then by the end of the year, we're on the couch eating bonbons. Nobody's judging us for that, and so that's okay. There is nothing more authentic than that. I always say to people, we go through these periods of life. I feel like for me, it's every 5 years. I feel like I'm purging and my mindset is changing and my thoughts and my opinions on things are changing. That's growth. That is growth. If you are the same today, when you hit the scene in 2021, and then we see you again in 2031, and you're doing the exact same thing, and you have not changed your thoughts, or you might as well that's a stagnant person. That's a stagnant person. That's a person that's not learning. That's a person that's not growing. And that's not the person that you want to continue with. in your life, because as you grow, there's no way that you want to hear about the same shit, can I say shit, that you heard about at 10 and want to be listening and talking about that same stuff at 20. And there's no way that you want to be doing what you did at 20 at 30. And if you are, you're trying to be something that you're not. You're just trying to be something that you're not. So I just had to throw that in there for that. Although I understand what that commenter was saying and I get it, but you know, let's open our minds a little bit, not just think about, you know, our opinions personally. Because like I said, personally, although I like Lizzo's voice and her music, I'm not into watching her in a G-string either. But, you know, I ain't mad at her for it.
Right.
I'm sure there's a lot of people who want to see me in a G-string, but don't be mad at me if I decide to do that, which I won't.
It's about, and what people don't understand is when we're regular and we're normal people, we have to build ourselves up, whether we're just working a regular job, whether we're just going to school, whether we're just doing anything regular. Whatever you're doing, you have to build yourself up.
You kind of sound like a robot.
You don't have to like it, but
You know what? I
Can
give
y'all
you a
hear
little
me?
I want to give a little blueprint just on the industry, and so people can kind of have a little more understanding of the industry. It's a dirty game, right? It's not what you think when you walk in the doors. And for a woman, you can't imagine the amount of things that they go through. You know what I'm saying? When you go through them doors. So they already dealing with trying to make it. You know what I'm saying? Then being tricked into some things that they don't even have a clue what they're getting themselves in. When a person walk into you and you didn't sign that contract and they waving pictures in your face of your family members and telling you got to do this, you got to do this, you got to do that, how would you feel then?
Yeah.
And then you look back, you looking for support, right? From your fans or something, that at least some type of love you looking for, right? And this is why I tell people, like, you know, I didn't know, like, to be honest with you, like my parents, they like big and, you know, big ministers and stuff like that, been doing for a long time. I never thought God was, you know, I never really took it seriously until I got in the industry and I understood how satanic this game was. And I understand the traps and things that folks is going through and the stories and the stuff I start seeing in myself. So I'm just telling folks, you got to have love. You hear me? And I'm just being honest with folks. Like, you can't imagine what these folks going through. People like Bernie Mac that stood up and tried to speak because he loved everybody. He wanted to start. And what happened to him? What happened to Pimp C? Soon he tell you 90% of the game is gay. What happened to him? That's, you know what I'm saying? So half the time we talking about something we don't even know what we talking about.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just keeping it 100. Like, I've been there. I know people in the gang that want to get out. You know what I'm saying? But once you know what I'm saying? Like, I tell people, study this Bible. You know what I'm saying? And I just keep it as real as possible. You know what I'm saying? I understand that we all trying to gain knowledge, you know, because the Bible tells us, my people, we suffer from the lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Most of reject it because we know the Bible. After all these years, we, you know, it's right there. Sacrificing, we talk about some of that stuff. 1 million kids being snatched just from the United States. Ain't enough hamburger meat to even put to be in every store across the country, or better yet, across the world. But here it is. We got hamburger.
Yeah.
You got to think about this stuff. The stuff that they don't know that they getting themselves into. You can't imagine the stuff they have to go through in their mind. The spiritual warfare, the things that we think that ain't real. Once you get out there and you get on that level and they weigh them pictures of your family.
Yeah, I can imagine. I have a son that does music and he's very talented. He's a very, very talented artist. And he's been working at it for some years. Now, I know nothing about the entertainment industry, nothing whatsoever. But of course, like all of us, we've heard of things We've heard of stuff, and it makes us very nervous. And I had a conversation with him not too long ago, and I said to him, I don't know. I mean, I wish you the best, and I want the best for you. I want all the success that you want in your heart. But I know that I should say this, and maybe it was God or, the cosmos putting it on my heart to say it, and I don't even know what I'm talking about. But I said, you need to name your price today. You need to name your price today, because as soon as you cross over, I just have a feeling that there's no coming back, and you might find out that it's not exactly, it's not going to be what you're expecting. So name your price now.
I'm gonna give y'all a quick story. One of the reasons, and I knew this thing was getting out of control, right? I got a TV company out here in Hollywood, right? I'm basically working with Hollywood directors, the guy that wrote The Grimm. I'm plugged in, right? I met this guy. He was homeless up here. That's how I jumped off. And I wanted to go into a whole new field. I was an artist, beat maker, producer, all dance team, model teams, all this stuff I was doing. And I was doing everything. I was getting crown trophies for it. So then I meet this guy. I'm like, man, I want to start a TV company up now. And I wanted to like build this system for like people, for artists that was on the bottom, right? And because I kept seeing like, why is all these people on the top? They ain't getting no opportunities with the same music, same artists. It's like, I wasn't cool with that. So I'm like, I created this TV company called Audio or TV. And we would take, like, people can pay for slots and we'll, put together little showcases, like the old BT and different stuff like that they used to have. So I was bringing all that back and giving artists and then getting industry people, because I had industry relationships to get on it. So I knew it was going to pop. And so this guy I met, right? I'm going to tell y'all how this thing went. I get all the way out, all expenses paid, Beverly Hills, living out there whole 9 yards, right? I wasn't even out there but a couple of weeks before I said, I got to get out of here. You hear me? Like, real talk. Like, and when I get out here, the guy say to me, he say, my business partner, I made him my right-hand business partner. And because he had all the connects out here in Hollywood, most of all his family, one of them was like the NBC president, NBC Sports, and like Jewish type dudes, you know what I'm saying? And I was connected with dude. I was taking care of him, let him be in my house. He used to be on drugs big time. And I helped him to get off drugs, and his parents, they were so scared of my city, they would just drop him in the white community. I had to drive and go get him. And so, you know what I'm saying? So they looked at me like they knew I was a good dude, though, even though I'm from the hood. And they know, like, this dude cool, invited me out to their crib, everything. Hey, it's cool. I get out here with them, find out they was snaking me the whole time, right? So I had this artist out in LA.
What's snaking? You got to tell me what snaking is.
The snaking, they trying to underhand me, big boss. So, me being like who I am, I was kind of like, still got a little Tupac 50 in me. I ain't playing no games at that time, right? Ain't nobody finna play with me. I'm gonna die about it. That was my motive at the time. And when I get out here, you know what I'm saying, I find out I got this artist I signed, because I got artists in Africa, I got artists in the United States, I got projects. I'm like, got my hand in everything. I'm literally becoming the next big thing with all my systems put together, and I put them all together under one roof. So now I got this artist I'm signed. She's popping out there in LA. She could say one thing, and every time she speak, 14,000. She remind you of like Aaliyah. She was like the next big thing since Aaliyah. Some people go to my page called Prince Audi. Go to that page, you'll see all of it. You know what I'm saying? And we go from there, and she ended up saying I found out my right-hand business partner went to jail. So I told him, like, I'm running over 100 plus people, managing all these people. I'm busy, crazy. I'm barely can handle all of it. I tell dude from jail, like, hire somebody else that could be your right hand, and I need a right hand hired. He hired this dude that was a Mason, right? Come up in here, right? So when he hired this dude, the whole time, I ain't know he had already went and talked to the organization. And I told folks from the get-go, listen, I don't want none of that fugazi stuff in my company or I'm a snap. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on that. It's like real talk. I ain't on none of that. Cause like the way I did my company, we family. If we gonna ride together, we gonna ride together. If we gonna die about it, I'm gonna put my life on the line for y'all. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how I was raised. I wasn't raised to be, no disrespect to nobody. Now I ain't none of this new age thing. I ain't. If we go out to the bar, we go somewhere. Best believe we coming home together. You know what I'm saying? And that's just how I ride. You know what I'm saying? As being an owner, it was like family. I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? So I end up going, find out they trying to maneuver some stuff on me. So by the time I figured out the my right hand that did some funny paperwork, and I figured out like this thing was set up so dirty. I was like, whoa. So then I came back. I was doing this boxing thing, right? So I got the boxing thing still going. Then I come back, we go out, we do this big old thing in Beloit, Wisconsin, and I'm finna get ready to do the Hall of Fame. They wanted me to do the Hall of Fame thing with Buster Douglas. I got a whole bunch of like top celebrities that's in the boxing league that they was doing a ceremony. They wanted us to come out and do that in Indianapolis. So I'm getting a plug on everything, and I'm just like, I'm seeing the stuff, but then I sat there. What was the last straw? I sat with this guy. He was, I think his name was Sonny something, but he was an Olympic champion, right? And I look at this dude's face, right? And this dude, his eye was almost like he had a glass eye. And I'm watching this, and it destroyed me in the inside. Like I already know too much already. Then I'm seeing the boxing thing, and we do the interview with him. It's on my YouTube page, and he say, man, they set me up in the interview. He had one of the largest fights in Madison Square Garden. Even his trainers and stuff, they ain't even telling me he know how to do fight nothing. They set him up to get basically annihilated. You know what I'm saying? And so if you look what DMX talked about this game, DMX said it's not about talent. It's about playing the game. Sick, y'all. This thing ain't like what folks think it is. You know what I'm saying? And the crazy part, most of all of this stuff, y'all, ain't none of this stuff new, y'all. This stuff been going on like before the Bible speaks about these same things back thousands of years before Jesus even walked the earth. They used to take their babies and they used to play the drum. They used to beat the drum real loud and sacrifice their babies.
The babies to the
drum.
gods. Yeah.
Jeremiah days. So they can cover up the noise of the sacrifice. And this stuff ain't nothing new, y'all. These fraternities and all of this stuff, this ain't nothing new. Like you can go back from the old to the new. So we be so geeked into stuff, jumping into stuff, talking, degrading folks. Folks are scared. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, out they mind, they scared. And not just including that, y'all. Like when you put your name on that paper line, right? And y'all all done seen people like Beyonce, different people. You like, hold on, she don't look normal. She don't look the same. And folks like, everybody being tricked into this thing, man. I'm just being honest with you. Everybody being tricked. You know what I'm saying? Because folks ain't real. Folks ain't got no real heart. Folks like me that been there, how many folks gonna stand up and tell you the truth? No, they're gonna let
scared.
you walk. They're gonna walk you, man. I'm about this, man, for real.
Yeah.
They're gonna have to get me, you hear me? Because I'm gonna keep it 100. Because listen, the Bible teaches us a man that will lay his life on the line for his friends is the greatest love. And that's what we gotta do. We gotta be real. All that fake stuff, treating this person this type of way, you can't imagine. Soon they put their name on that paper, you can't imagine the torture that goes in their mind.
Yeah.
From selling their soul. Man.
I can't. I already know. I know that it is beyond what I could handle mentally, emotionally, physically as a person. I already know. So give me my $3 for the hard work that I do for myself from my iPhone.
Man,
Y'all take the
hey,
rest of
listen,
that stuff on somewhere else. But Miss
small
Londa,
things will count.
yeah, Miss Londa, I wanted to ask you a question though.
Okay.
On this topic, that especially because of some of the comments that your commenters made, is so we've already had a few commenters that said that Lizzo was not their thing and because of whatever reasons, right? When is it bullying and when is it just expressing your distaste for what you're seeing? Or do you know what I'm saying? When is the line crossed?
It's bullying when you start degrading a person and calling a person out of their name. I mean, if you're going to express yourself and say, oh, well, I don't think she should wear that, or I don't think she should do that and move on, it's bullying when you continue. And when you're with the degrading and the put down and, you know, the name calling.
So it could be like synonymous with harassment, maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I do have some more comments. This one is from Bina again. It says, that's her only issue though. She can't expect to be wishy-washy in public and not receive the backlash though. Therapy and counseling is good. She also said, I don't watch her or buy her music or any of them. Constructive criticism is necessary. I have a comment from Belinda that says, I say people need to clean their own backyard before they try to clean yours. Another comment from Bina again says, you can only become better and do better for all of us. I ain't mad at Megan Thee Stallion, though her ASS is fine. I mean, though.
What's an ASS? Oh, okay. Y'all see how old I am?
I mean, though, if you got it like that, handle it. But if you deflated, girl, please don't expect people to compliment no mess. I'm just saying. She has a lot to say, y'all. So, okay, like Lizzo say, truth hurts. Okay, and then Belinda says, study the Bible and stop the hatred and jealousy. Bina said, that's true. Ain't nothing new under the sun. And then she says to you, Tanza, yes, Tanza, there is a line.
There is a line.
Yeah.
But I just want to say one thing though to that comment though, because the main thing is this, y'all.
Which comment?
I think she was saying about the just like I think it was the judging part, the kind of they just like voicing their opinion. On how you deal with that, right? Mm-hmm. And so biblically, it would teach us to do all things in decency and in order, right? And to do all things in love. Now, if I have something to say, right? So if I see you doing something, boom, 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 even if I have a disagreement, like back in the days, what this how you know real versus fake. Because if I was real, I would go in private and tell you man to man, and I don't need no crowd to do it. You hear me? So that right there lets me know your motives of doing what you're doing.
Right.
Right. Because you can't say things to people that you don't like. You can tell people that you're not approving or that you're not okay with what they're doing in a manner that's diplomacy, right? In a manner in which they're able to receive it without being threatening or insulting or anything or you know or insulting, I guess is the word, because you don't want, especially if you're doing something out of love and concern for a person, you want them to receive it. You're not just there to throw an insult at them. You know, so I guess it's the approach, but you know, the commenter is right. They have the right, of course, to say that this is not for them. That's our basic human rights. And that's why I was asking, when does it cross the line? Because we don't want anybody to feel like just we're sitting here talking. Somebody could be like, you know, Tanza, shut the hell up. And, you know, I don't like you. You have the right to say that. But you're right, Miss Londa, you don't have the right to talk about my flappy arms or anything.
Yeah.
Like back up, okay? Don't make me take my wig off.
If it's not in love, y'all,
right?
And that's just period. We all ain't no fools. And if it ain't presented the right way, you know what I'm saying? You know the old school. It ain't about what you're doing, but it's how you do things.
It's how you say it. It's how you say it.
You say it recklessly and what you expect.
Right.
And like Data was saying, okay, don't cross the line because I will go off. Right?
That's true, because I had an incident like that yesterday where I texted the person and I asked the person, so I didn't ask, but I assumed something. And the way I talk, a person perceive it a lot better than me texting. So when I text them, they perceived what I text them in a matter to where they thought we were beefing. And when they talked to me over the phone, like on FaceTime, and it was like, well, you know what? If I wouldn't have talked to you, I wouldn't have never even known that. Because a person can perceive something so differently during the text. I say, you know what, you're right, because my best friend had just told me that. She was like, Day, I agree with what you did, but maybe, you shouldn't have said it that way, because I probably would have took it the way she took it. But me being your friend and me talking to you, I can imagine you saying it.
Because
I
there's a
can
difference
imagine
with
you.
like voice inflection and facial expressions and whether you're how you're it's all of that you can't see in printed text.
Yeah.
The way people text nowadays is very short and to the point. And
Mhm.
so
So she's wrote another comment. Lizzo, Lil Nas X, Cardi B ain't got nothing to do with the Bible. Where? Not a respecter of person. This is not Bible, but yes, Adi is right in love.
Yeah, but it's just a round base. And this is the thing where I try to get people to understand is that if you literally study the Bible, it gives you every answer. So life is the Bible. And so think about it from this standpoint. The coldest thing that Jesus to me ever said was, what comes out of man's mouth comes out of his heart. You hear me? And so whatever folks saying is coming out their heart. Yeah. So somebody will tell you, man, you don't know what I'm thinking. Yeah, I do. Because what you said came out your heart. But that's what Jesus said. So if you study the Bible, you study prophecies, it'll let you know that every prophecy that the Bible has foretold has been 100% accuracy to history. So it's,
but even if you took the Bible out of it, so for like the commenter, maybe you don't want to hear about the Bible, and that's okay too, right? Because everybody it's okay. I'm okay with that. But you just take it back to your basic right and wrongs that your mama taught you from birth. It's all the same thing. Because all of this comes from, whomever's ideology, whether it's the Bible or the Quran or whatever it is that you believe in, the cosmos. It's basic right and wrong. For a fact, once you pass the age of 1, what's right. You don't do things to people that you don't want to do you don't want done to yourself. I have a 1-year-old granddaughter. If she hits me, I'm going to hit her back. You know what that teaches her? Don't you be hitting me, because it hurts. You don't want nobody hitting you. Don't you hit me. If you bite, somebody bites you back. If you hit, if you smack, if you yell, if whatever you do, and if it doesn't feel comfortable on the receiving end, then you should know that you should not be giving it out. And that's basic. That's the overall theme of all human nature. So whenever we go against that, something in your gut should be telling you, you're coming from a bad place.
And you're right, because all of us got right and wrong in this.
Yeah.
Like you can even scratch the Bible. We don't have to
can scratch it.
We don't even have to go that far, even though, we can use it as an example. But in general, like if you did the scientific studies, right? A child knows more from the age from being born to the age of 2 more than they learn throughout their whole entire life.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So naturally, right and wrong is in us.
Innate.
Folks ain't gotta be like a rocket scientist to figure this out. You know what I'm saying? We know what wrong is, we know what right is. And so whether we choose to do it or not, of course, I'm not gonna go support anything that's wrong that somebody doing because of the lifestyle that I'm living now. But at the same time, I'm not finna go bash them, because what would I look like? I did the same thing. I'm out here, I'm like, I was death row, basically. So how I'm gonna sit here and tell somebody else, even though I changed no, I should have more compassion for that person. I don't know what they struggles. I don't know what they came through. I don't know she had no mama. I don't know she got raped when she was a child. I don't know nothing about this woman. You hear me? So we need to take time and get the chance to walk in that person's shoes before we open up our mouth, or we make ourselves look as stupid as can be. And that's just
and along with what you're saying, the idea that you changed, because one time you were here. One time you were here. And that's the only thing that I want people to understand is that today you were here, but
Yeah.
yesterday you were somewhere else. You have got to talk to people and listen to people that think differently from you. And remember that, you know, in a few years or a few weeks, even, you just might feel a little bit differently. So how about we all just stop and listen?
Yeah.
Just
Wrong.
listen
Yeah.
and try to understand, you know?
That's it. That's the goal of life, is to love each other. And that's what I ended on. You know, at the end of the day, I don't go around judging anybody, looking down on anybody. My attitude is, how can I help her? How can I help him? How can I help that family? You know what I'm saying? We got folks walking the street, homeless, hungry, starving. I don't sleep good at night knowing the condition of the world. That can't be my focus. You know what I'm saying? And then you got like one person, we see, if we take the story of Dr. King, one person can change the whole world. It's just about how much love do you have in your heart for the next person. And that's what we got to get to. Like I say, it's a system that's in play, and everybody just like zombies, just walking. You know what I'm saying? Following. Like it's a handful of people that ain't doing it, but I'm telling you, you standing for something, you got swag with it. You hear me? Before you know it, I'm trying to tell you, you're gonna have a whole bunch of people following you. I got a lot of people that go on my page. They like, hey, why all these switch, man? I'm like, man, God called me. That's why I switched, because I'm doing what I want to do. And what I'm doing is whatever. If I feel like I want to wake up, I want to eat pancakes today, that's what I'm doing. If I want to
Or a
wake up,
whole
I want
plate
to
of collard
steak.
greens, cornbread,
Hey,
and
you hear me?
chicken in the morning.
You hear me? When I die, I'm going to die doing what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
Not being no follower to something that I know wasn't right. And if anything, I got daughters. I got three daughters, you know what I'm saying, to look after. I ain't finna leave my daughters in this world not having an understanding to things and how to be a woman, how to dress, or anything that I feel that is right. You know, I want them to be raised up the right, but how I'm gonna teach them right? I ain't doing right.
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 I ain't hearing that.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't know where she's going with this comment, but it says maybe twerking, but booty naked in prison with other guys could refer to Romans chapter 7, scary. Then she says, well, I'm not a bully online. God says, cleave to what is good and flee from evil. Discretion and discrimination is good. She also says, depends on some people. Depends. Some people are demons, don't want to hear right. And then she said, Lil Nas X.
Yeah, I think that we covered so much stuff, so she's probably commenting on a lot. But let me tell y'all, complete and utter authenticity here. As you know, I'm 48 years old and I've been through quite a bit in my life, right? Mm-hmm. And there have been times, pretty here recently, actually, where I've said to myself, you know what, Tanza, if you were 22 again and know what you know today, maybe I would have been a twerker. Maybe I would have taken advantage of, you know, my aesthetics that people seem to have liked back then. Or
twerking wasn't out when we had much easier dances.
Like nowadays, you know, as a parent and as a mother of a young person, and being, you know, completely against that kind of thing. But when I look back on it and think objectively, just objectively, as a human being and as a person, I think to myself, yeah, maybe if certain opportunities have been presented to me, maybe I might have. Knowing what I know now and thinking that I could get to a place that I think I want to be, yeah, maybe I would have been Kim Kardashian. Maybe I would have been, you know, thinking like that is what helps me to understand people and their journeys through life, and to be less judgmental of them, and to be more understanding of the process, and you know, because it's so easy to say, if you're a person that if you think that you're on a high moral ground, which a lot of people do, even if they're not really, but a lot of people think that they're on a high moral ground. If you think like that, but you have an ability to put yourself in another person's shoes, it might switch. It might temper your approach a little bit. And it might, because given the right circumstances, because we've all made mistakes and we've all done things that we are not proud of, and we've all, you know, messed up at times. So given the right circumstances, then yeah, maybe. I happen to be a person who's never actually done drugs. Crazy, right? I grew up in the crack age or whatever, right? Never done it. Only because I grew up at a certain time and in a certain space, right? With a certain group of people. But I know, had that not been the case, I could have very well been strung out on crack. And so when I come across a person that has, I'm less judgmental about it. And I can put myself, if not for this one thing, I might have been you. And I think that's what people lack nowadays is the understanding that if not for, you know, and even the things that I have done that I'm not proud of, you know, people can judge me for, but you've not walked in my shoes and you weren't in my circumstance at that time.
Right.
So,
Exactly.
you know, cut me a little slack. I'm different today. I would make different decisions today, but back then, you know, or whatever I'm doing today that I probably shouldn't do. Maybe I
But you know,
shouldn't be drinking this Moscato, but whatever.
the most
Well,
scariest point
well,
about that situation, the most scariest point is you don't know where they are in the state of their mind when you're doing what
Right.
you're doing.
And like you
Yes.
said, you
You
don't
can
know
That's
what
say
another
happened
it,
to them.
thing.
man, fam,
well,
they'll jump off. Man, you know how many people then jumped off like lost down in Vegas. So many people then lost their whole homes and everything gambling
I,
and jumped off the building and killed themselves. Folks can't come home to their wife and their kids and can't provide and this. Like, we don't know the state of mind of people's minds when we do what we do. Like, I used to bully folks when I was in elementary. I had folks walk up to me and said I should have took you to a show. So like, I know, like, literally I damaged that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, and now, like, if I could go back, most definitely I would switch the hand of time. But in reality, that's why shows like this is good, y'all, that we all come together and we voicing our opinions, maybe from different angles, and everybody can get a chance to pick up the different knowledge, because listen, knowledge only come if we live. You know what I'm saying? Like, we ain't brought into this world to know everything. Right. And so, like, you know what I'm saying? As one great person said, if one think he know everything, he don't know. He's an idiot. Ought to know. You hear me? You don't know nothing. And so, so we have to be humble. We got to always be in a wanting to learn stage. And we got to start, I'm just telling folks, love, man. That's the key, man. Having to understand what you touch.
It's important to know.
Yeah, you have to love yourself.
Yes, yes.
Being
And in
slow
order
to
to
speak
love
sometimes.
yourself does not mean that you have to hate on somebody else.
Yeah,
exactly.
Remember that.
But if you can hate on somebody else, do you really love yourself?
No.
And I ask that question.
No, because you just take Lizzo, that whole example. So I'm not a big person. And the older I get, I seem to shrivel. I don't know what that's about. But
I just
seem to shrivel up like a raisin, right? So, but in this era of this big, beautiful woman era, right? Here's one thing I've learned as a smaller person, that there comes while I'm so happy that these women are expressing themselves and appreciating their beauty, guess what happens? On the back end, you get dissed for being a little person, right? So if you ain't got a big booty and it don't clap, if it don't clap like my arms or right? Then suddenly, okay, you're not good enough. Then suddenly, in order for that movement to be successful, I can't be successful, right? It's very like, what's going on? Okay, what are we not gonna do? Because what we're not gonna do is take my little booty and minimize it, you know, further. So, you know, in that kind of thing is what I'm saying is that in order to appreciate and love ourselves, right? And to appreciate and love our Blackness, to appreciate and love our bodies, to appreciate and love our womanhood, to appreciate and love our masculinity or our femininity. It is not required and it is not necessary. In fact, it is not authentic love of yourself if you have to minimize or downgrade what's opposite of you. Because what that really is oppression and prejudice. That's what that is. That's not real love.
Hey, I want to tell y'all something on forgiving. And this is real important because a friend of mine told me this and I never understood this. I never seen this point of view, but she said, when you forgive a person, it's really for you. You know what I'm saying? And I never even thought about that. She told me that the other day and I'm like, what? And I thought about it. I said, you know what? When you do forgive a person, you do, it really is for you. You know what I'm saying? So y'all think about that, man. Y'all love each other. Life is short, man. For all that extra stuff, when a person dead and gone, man, they ain't coming back. You hear me? Give they flowers while they living. Appreciate life. You know what I'm saying? Do good. You know what I'm saying? Make a difference. You know what I'm saying? Because I can go to sleep and don't wake up tomorrow. And that's the reality. You know what I'm saying? So we have to ask ourselves, this is an individual thing. Look yourself in the mirror and say, if I was to die today, is this how I want it? Is this last comment that I didn't say is stupid, some stupid stuff? Is this how I want my life to end?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like I said, all through my experience, I learned like I won't, you know what I'm saying? Even when I was in it, everybody used to call me the people's champ. I stood for something. And so I wasn't on none of that. You know what I'm saying? So we was, planning to take the money and put it into homes and get homeless people off the street. And we finna change the game. You know what I'm saying? And so, but then we get the chance to see what it was. But at the end of the day, the whole thing is y'all love each other, man.
Yeah.
I'm saying folks leaving here, the pandemic should have been enough for everybody.
I think people have to work hard at doing that. Instead of just saying love each other, when you come across somebody that maybe you're instantly kind of like, maybe you have that deep-seated jealousy or that deep-seated envy or whatever, take a minute and look for something to love on them and give it to them. Don't be afraid to throw a compliment. If I come across my arch enemy in life, who I was supposed to be, if God had, consulted with me on who he was going to create, I would have been Halle Berry, right? So if he had just consulted me, he didn't ask, but, and so if I would ever to come across such a woman that would naturally bring out the, oh God, I wish I was her, just in appearance, I'm just talking about physicalness, I would automatically say to her, you are beautiful, instead of saying, who do you think you are? And if I came across somebody that perhaps I was not a fan of, I would probably automatically say to them, like maybe Lizzo in the G-string that I already said I don't want to see. I would say to her, what a beautiful smile you have. I would find something, a common ground that I could show her some love and appreciation on. What a beautiful voice you have. What a beautiful face you are. Your body is beautiful. Something. So if we could just take a minute and find the commonality that we can offer love on. If we just took the time to do that instead of immediately going to the hate, we'd probably be better off.
But you know what? You got to be looking for it. That's the whole key. If I'm sitting up watching nothing but a whole bunch of gang related or a whole bunch of foolishness all day, what do I expect? If I'm sitting here listening to a whole bunch of gang, kill your mama, slap your girl when she say some type music, what am I gonna do? I'm gonna get on social media. I'm gonna try to, it's a system, y'all. But if I sit here, I'm sitting here with my girl, right, and I'm playing some that make both me and her want to be in the mood together, man, I probably see. I'm not finna get on social media and get to going crazy. You know what I'm saying? So what you adapt to is what you get out. You know what I'm saying? So if you adapt to the wrong thing, a whole bunch of negativity gonna come out your heart, out your mouth. You know what I'm saying? And it's just the reality, y'all. So that's why, like I say, for me, and it's not to judge anybody, no matter what they into, but for me, I'm a firm believer in the Bible, and it says, sow the things that's good. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to get good results, which none of us have to even go to the Bible to even figure that out. You know what I'm saying? If we do good, good things going to come back. We do bad things going to come back. But at the same time, we have to be the difference maker. I just believe that, you know what I'm saying? No matter how bad the situation is, if you one of those leaders that can stand up and make a difference, folks will see that like, oh, look at God. She doing all these numbers. She's standing on it. Man, you know what I'm saying? That's the type of respect. Them the people I love. I love people that'll stand up no matter what. They'll die by it. Because that's how our ancestors was. If you study history, our ancestors, they weren't going. And they were so, you know what I'm saying? They kept doing what they was doing, getting beat, going through all type of things. They were overcomers. But they stood for something. And what they stood for was something that was beautiful and something that was the right way, which all of us know right from wrong.
Right.
Yeah. Standing for love.
So I have a comment from Stacy. I agree with Tanza. I do try to understand what kind of life a person has had. I can be understanding of that. I try not to be judgmental. But if the person is not trying to put forth the effort in changing, then for me, I just may judge a person by the fact that they are who they are. And I can either deal with it or leave it alone. And
exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. Nina says, and a lot of elders and gatekeepers will trick you, hustle you for the bag, mislead you or young people to degrade themselves in public, souls for sale, oppression. You right, but I shake the dust off my feet. They have to go through God to see me. Tanza, your hair is beautiful, she said.
It's not mine, baby. It's not mine, but thank you.
She says, Yolanda, your makeup is nice. Thank you. Yes. Dede, your eyes are beautiful. Prince Adi, your spirit is beautiful and supreme. And she says it's true, but keep y'all distant. COVID is real. Ancestors had good and bad. Thank you for those comments.
See, that's a person looking to give love, looking for the love. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. She didn't even say nothing about my wings. I appreciate you, girl.
And Dede, I wanted to ask you, so how do you think you will handle, that type of situation now?
Yeah.
Can y'all hear me okay?
Yeah.
Well, I think now I'll try to handle it more diligently, more calmer. But it's kind of hard when you have someone imaginary beefing with you and they won't come to the fore and speak to you as an adult. I'm all about communicating because I'm not a hard person to communicate with. I'm not a hard person to get along with. All I ask for is just a tad bit of communication. And like I tell everybody, if you have a problem with me or you don't like something about me or it's something that's not appeasing to you, come to me and tell me, pull me to the side and talk to me. And if you don't like it, I can fix it. It's not hard. All I look for is communication. So, if I handle something in an anger manner, that's because I'm very upset and my feelings are hurt. Because I'm a Gemini, I'm a person that work on feelings and I work on emotion and I work on energy. And if I call you my friend, that mean I mean it. That mean I take it serious. That mean I don't play, and I'm not going to tolerate if anybody comes to me with any problem or disrespect towards you. So, if it comes down to me having to handle the situation again, I'll be more calmer, but I'm going to still address the issue in a manner where it's respectable and it's heard.
Do you think it's easier? Is it easy for you to just block that person out?
It's easy, but when you have a person that still continues to talk about you and constantly speak on you, and you're not even speaking about them and you're not even knowing what the problem is, I think it's very hard to do. You know, you can do all the blocking you want in the world, but when you find a person that has a problem with you and you really don't know what the problem is, it's really kind of hard to block it out because you want some type of closure or some type of communication to find out where the problem started so it can't get deadly. You know, so if it's you can block the person out, but it will be pointless because the problem still is going to exist because the person on the other end is still going to continue to talk about it or continue to bring you up in situations.
And you're being brought up in these situations when you're not around.
Yes.
And so then that means people are bringing it to you then, right?
Yes.
So why not just tell them, look, if this person can't be man or woman enough, because I don't know if it's female or male, to say this to me themselves, I don't want to hear it.
Yeah.
Yeah, can I just give you a word of advice? Something that I've learned over the years, Day. Now
Yeah.
listen, you ain't got, I tell my kids this all the time, you ain't got to listen to me, but trust me, I know what I'm talking about, okay? When I was young, I was a hothead. People say it's because I'm an Aries, I've got whatever. So a lot of fights, a lot of nonsense until I figured out that when I hit you, you hit me back and I may not want to.
Yeah.
So I got there,
Yeah.
right? But one thing my grandmother, my mother, everybody used to tell me is that what other people say about you is not your business.
Yeah.
Remember that. So when people come to you with information, true, false, or indifferent.
Yeah. Just, yeah.
Because if so-and-so hasn't come to me, I'm going to act like it hasn't even been said. I don't even want you to tell me. I don't want to know. Until we have a conversation, which if I have no problem with you, but word on the street is that you have a problem with me, I am still going to move about this earth like we don't have a problem because you haven't told me anything.
And you know,
if anybody else comes to try to tell me anything that you said, oh no, I'm not open to receiving that.
Yeah, because let's be real.
To receive
the person that's bringing it back, that person is bringing it back to keep it going. If you take that person out, you done shut it down.
And then, hey, you know what's crazy? These teachers in school, one person tell one person in the room by the time to get back, and ain't never right. So they didn't add some sauce to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And all they're doing is feeding you and no matter what happens, the reason why you shut it down when they approach you with the story, Data, is because you are not going to be able to help but respond. Even if it's, I don't know what they're talking about, right? Even if you said just that person that came to you is going to go back to them. And no matter what, they may not just say that she said, I don't know what they're talking about. They might say, she was like, bitch, I don't know what she's saying, right? And so now you've added extra, right? And now so it's no. I do not want to hear from you what George said. If George is not coming to me, then nothing's been said. And I'm moving on as if nothing's been said. That keeps you from being upset. That keeps George from getting more upset. It just stops it. And that person needs to know that they're the ones that you're shutting down. The middleman, get out my business. Get out my business.
Sticks and stones may break your bones, but words will never hurt me.
Miss Londa, you making this turn into church now. Let's not do that.
Hey, but we just got to get stronger though. Just in reality though, as people, y'all. Yeah, that's my advice though. We got to get stronger, man. We can't let folks just break us down like this, man. Folks come and say something, they destroy our whole day. You hear me?
Yeah, you don't let them mess with your energy.
Yeah,
man, we had
this is my space.
You hear me?
Stay out my space.
And it's so crazy because I'm always saging, and I'm always doing card reading, and I'm always giving positive advice, and I'm always being so positive. And one wrong thing or one wrong word will set me off like a ticket bomb.
You know why that is,
crazy.
Data? Day, it's like that because you close the door, but you don't lock it. So it still allows people to come in with the wrong stuff. Close your door. This is my space. You're not messing with my energy, and lock it. If I don't give you the key, you cannot come in. And before you come in, you've checked your energy. Okay, so yeah. But you know, that's old folks. That's old folks telling you how they learn how to not kill other people.
Yeah.
So you guys know, okay, so I'm gonna read a few more comments and then you guys know I was gonna end it with a poem again tonight. Stacy says, I think when you're famous, no matter of looks and size, a famous person is known all over the world for their entertaining. And when you put yourself out in a way to be talked about, whether it's a good or bad way, to me, you're fair game to be judged. It is what it is. People are going to judge you as a famous person. I'm not famous, but if I were to post on Facebook or IG, it'll be judged, right? And then Venus says, people come to you with negative information, true, false, or indifferent, walk away, bye-bye. Don't engage negative behaviors. I experienced a lot of that negative when I was there in June. Okay, so I'm not gonna read that one. And then I'm gonna go on and end it with a poem. And the poem is called Love Letter. I'm honking and beeping, ride with me, or let's walk around the lake holding hands. Matter of fact, let's walk on the beach with our toes immersed in the black sand. Here's a letter, check the box. If we go together, I make a heart with the shape of my hand. When we were not together, love letters to you even in my stormy weather. Don't take this love for granted, we look good together. On those sunny days, I just smile and stare into your eyes. You and that sexy smile, we cuddle from sunset until the moon rise. You get mad because I play too much, yet we still together like spy versus spy. Our names are carved in an oak tree. In between is a plus sign. Chocolates in the mail, special delivery. It's Sweethearts Day because the candy goes good with your thighs. We accept each other's faults, mishappenings, and secrets when we conversate. Yes. Unlock others. We go the deepest, like sugar in my coffee. You are the sweetest. You are that queen, the prettiest. When I have whipped cream dreams, I paint the scene. Dear love, this letter is for you because you're not an option. You are the other half of me. So that was another poem from my brother.
I was about to say, you tell your brother he needs to stop flirting with me through this poetry. Okay?
So we had a great discussion this evening. I thank you guys once again and welcoming Brian as our newest co-host.
Brian, it's so nice to have the male energy. I love it.
Didn't I tell you that?
I love it.
Most def. I definitely appreciate y'all, man. Y'all got something hot cooking already. So, you know, it's definitely an honor to definitely work with y'all.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Remember what we said,
always
yes, I will. I will.
All right. You guys have a good night.
Good night, everybody.